Hello, guys, and welcome back to another episode of What If Civilization Started Over. In the last episode, we saw essentially what was a World War I. We saw a lot of chaos in Europe and in North America as well as Asia. If you want to know what happened, just go watch the last episode. It is about an hour long, and I didn't realize. But anyway, let's get into this episode. So the first thing we see happening as is every episode we've had it for the past bit, or almost every episode at least, is more exploration in North and South America. Well, North America to start. But Finagro IT is going to explore out more around his new colony that was once a country. And he'll discover about this much land from. But he'll also send some of his ships up north, and he'll send some of his ships up north, and these ships will discover these Caribbean islands. And eventually they'll land on Puerto Rico, and eventually even get to um, Hispaniola. They'll also discover Jamaica, Cuba, and some islands in the Bahamas. And we see the science team also discovering some lands in the Bahamas. The These ships will eventually make a landing in Mexico, more specifically the Yucatan Peninsula, and discover many areas throughout here. They'll meet up with the Pacific Ocean, and that will do for exploration on the east side. For on the west side, we see South China exploring many of the lands around their brand new colony. They'll start getting up into more remote areas of Alaska and Canada, but they will mostly focus on moving inland, about right here. The science team is also going to move inland, as these two groups have now realized they're on the same continent. Down here, they will also kind of start realizing, hey, we might be on the same continent as well. So they will eventually meet up, realizing, yes, they were on the same continent. They'll move down into Central America, crossing that, what's the name of that place? The gap right there, and they will move along the Pacific coast. Now moving over into Africa, we see much more exploration into the Saharan Desert. Like I just said, this is a desert, so it's a lot harder up in here. However, getting down here, it becomes easier for them, and they're able to discover much of these lands here. Then we'll move over to Asia, where we see these groups discovering lots of land in Central Asia. They'll start moving more into the Himalayas. Eventually, about right here, they will start focusing on getting through, eventually managing to do so, and they'll meet up with the pink, like Baikal country. And that, speaking of these guys, they'll not move, they'll discover a lot of the land around what they claim, and we also see the same happening in here. As this entire northern area here is completely discovered, and I will be filling these in later this episode. But this episode, if not clear already, is mostly going to be focusing on exploration and expansion and colonies, stuff like that. We're actually going to see a new colonizer this episode, and that will be the green Norwegian country. And I'll have troops, or not troops, boats sent out. First landing, he said, here, but eventually they'll make their way onto Iceland, discovering the entire thing, and even making a landing in Greenland, discovering a small, well, not small, a decent part of it, and moving down the coast. And that's not the only new colonizer we see, as we see both China's sending ships down to land in for regular the rate for this China here. They'll land in the Philippines. However, Yellow China the Yellow China ships will land down here in Papua New Guinea. Me and the green team will send out more explorers around here. And eventually we'll completely discover Borneo. So it's this island here. Eventually I'll meet up with Chinese ships and people, and I'll get onto this island here, which I don't remember the name of. Java, Sumatra, Borneo, and I don't know the name of that one. But a lot of the land, a lot of these Indonesian islands are discovered, and troops even land on Australia. Eventually, most of Papua New Guinea is discovered, and with else down in Africa, see India actually sending boats down. They'll resupply here. Green team, they'll continue sailing. They'll discover these islands for turning like this, going down not far, but they will land in Africa, exploring around, and eventually realizing that they are near the Tanzanian country. Speaking of Tanzania, they will explore much of the area around them, and it is going to be here. I'm going to show what all the countries have gotten our world treaty. I will just quickly go over everything that happened. Let's start in North America, because that's where probably the most happened. First off, South China expanded their colony. Um, Now it looks something like this. Um, then the Scientine expand out their colony, which now looks something like this. This Orange team here expanded. The Dark Cyan team actually got back into colonization. And I'm gonna revisit these two in a bit. The Cyan team got some land in the Bahamas, Cuba, and Central America. Finnaterland probably had one of the biggest colonial expansions. Now they own a decent portion of the Caribbean, most of Central America, and most of the northern parts of South America. Up in here, Catalonia expanded, France expanded, and Norway got a colony here. Norway also got colonies in Greenland, Iceland, right here. Yes, and that is this Norway. Denmark expanded their colony in Africa. Catalonia expanded their colony in Africa. Uh, Malta expanded. Africa, the Carthage country expanded. Libya expanded. Egypt expanded. Yemen expanded. Pretty much, country name expanded. Somalia expanded out a good bit. Tanzania expanded out a huge amount. Now they reach up with Denmark. Uh, Dark Cyan team got a colony in Africa. So did the lighter Cyan team. India got these two islands here in this colony. This India here. And over here. We now have a darker blue team here. Uh, East Asia is now connected up to West Asia and Europe, up through the Lake Baikal country. Now I think it's a bit more fit to call them Mongolia, maybe. Um, Hold on. Okay, so about that. Um, so these two countries here expanded out eastward. So did the Wolfid Empire. Up in here, Scandinavia is completely filled in. Pretty much the entirety of Europe is uh owned or claimed. There's a bit of land over in here, and then Falkland Island, or no, these aren't the Falkland Islands. These islands up here, owned by Norway in real life. Okay. And let's see, over in Asia, Vietnam expanded, India expanded. Um, South China expanded. Mid China expanded out a bit. Uh, China expanded. The other country did not expand actually. And then down in here, China got a colony here. The orange team got a little bit of land right in here. The Wolfit Empire gained all this. So it's this little handle here. South China got a small colony in Borneo, despite doing nothing for it. The green team probably got most of the land. Actually, they didn't even get all their land. They also got this the rest of that island, and that island there. And down the yellow Asian the yellow China got all this China, regular China, got that. And then here in Australia, green team got a bit, Wolfwood Empire got a bit, and the cyan team from all the way over here got some. And actually, I'm going to expand their small colony a bit. Now, the Middle East, or actually, never mind. That's not gonna make much sense. Um, but yeah, here is our new world map. And for the last event of the episode, a very quick war is going to happen. I mean, very quick. As the Dark Sign team very overpowers this orange country that broke away from them. And it's just gonna be full annexation. So yeah, one less country in the world that existed for barely an episode. So that country formed in World War One, which was last episode. But I think that is all in this episode. If you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.